Welcome back. You're watching Sports This Morning, reaching you live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. It's all about that big game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Chipolopolo of Zambia. Where are you putting your money? You can see that I was serious with that conversation, and the messages are scrolling. So watch you a part of it. Talk to us on Twitter, Channels_Sports, Facebook, Channels-Sports. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they sit on top of the Group B table with 10 points. Would they throw that away? I don't think so. Zambia, they're second with 7 points. But Tayo says, look, it's football. Anything can happen. Impossible is nothing. Bada Akintunde Johnson James is now live in the studio. It's more talks on the Super Eagles and that 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign. Bada, good to have you on Sports this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Wow.
Fantastic to be here.
I mean, I can feel it in the air already that this game is coming and it's very, very important. And a win, Nigeria will be in Russia next year. I mean,
I would think even with a draw, we should be good.
Yeah.
Deny Zambia maximum points. Essentially, that's the job that needs to be done. And I think that, like you quite rightly said, having picked 4 points from the maximum 6 against Cameroon in that double header, I don't see how the Super Eagles are going to throw this one away. Strange things have happened. The strangest things happen in football. But if you look at the chemistry in that team and the way they've been playing lately, I don't see how that Zambian team is going to emerge without a defeat from that game. The spirit in camp is very high. They know what the incentive is. They know what is at stake. The World Cup qualification ticket is the biggest. I mean, some would argue even bigger than qualifying for AFCON. We've been at AFCON, we've won it, we've been dead on that. We need to, at the minimum, qualify for the World Cup and maybe push one better than we've ever done, which is a second round qualification. Right. So the earlier we qualify, the better for us, so we can start preparing ahead of the World Cup in Russia next June.
I like the fact that you mentioned the team that defeated Cameroon, that if they go with that same team, we can still do a lot. But Tyler just saying that if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
And then Alex Iwobi wasn't in that team. I'll use his intelligence anytime, any day. If not for injury to Daniel Akpeyi, he would have been in goal. But we had the Chukwueze that didn't disappoint. So Bada, I've caught 2 players that you can look into if you're the coach. Would you give them a chance?
Well, absolutely. Iwobi has got to be starting. He's got that mobility, that directness. Saw him last weekend playing for Arsenal in the game against Huddersfield. It was absolutely brilliant, the way he was linking up play and the way he took his goal, Arsenal's second goal. Brilliant. Right. So you can use his understanding with Victor Moses and Moses Simon on the other side, or Dion, who leads the line. I think that we would need to score early against the Zambian team, because the longer the game goes on without a goal, the more confident the Zambians will become. Right. So in order to breach their defense quite early, you need Iwobi in that team.
Okay.
I'd also play, like you said, Akpeyi in goal for his experience. Yes, Ezenwa didn't do well. I mean, do too badly, rather. But then again, you saw in the way he gave away the penalty that in this game's experience, sometimes all he had to do was hold his line, and the defender would have dealt with with that. But his inexperience came to the fore. You don't want a situation where something like that plays out early in the game and it destabilizes the entire team. So you need an Akpeyi there. Apart from those 2 changes, I don't know that there's anywhere else I want to change. I think Shehu might not be available, the right back.
He's around.
But if he's around, he starts. The central defensive partnership, Oyibo Wall, fantastic. You don't touch that. Echejile, we hear, might be carrying a knock, but it should be.
It's nothing major.
Yeah, nothing major. It should start. I mean, Ogeyo Nazi was absolutely imperious in those 2 games against Cameroon. You don't touch that. Mikel Obi, obviously, must start. Captain, fantastic. He's been a massive inspiration. Ran out of gas in that second game in Yaoundé, but you can understand because of how short the distance.
From China.
Absolutely. But then he starts fresh. Odion Igalo was absolutely unplayable in those 2 games against Cameroon. He's got to lead the line. So, I mean, Victor Moses, obviously, the spark, the creative hub, the guy who makes things happen for the team. Moses Simon on the other side, he doesn't always make the right decisions. But he puts himself about, he works hard, he runs the channels brilliantly. So because of that, I'll start in my head of Ahmed Musa, who just gives you pace, which you probably want to use later on when the team is tiring. Iheanacho hasn't been playing a lot of games for Leicester, so I'll sit him on the bench. So that would be the look of my team against the Zambian team, and I think they will do well.
Okay, let's go back to that look again, just so we're clear. Odion Igalo, Victor Moses, then it's got to be either Moses Simon or Alex Iwobi, because they have 3 midfield already,
Yeah,
Nazi, Mikel, and probably Ndidi.
Well, I mean, because Moses Simon gives you that directness, he's a natural winger, and you want to stretch the Zambians, he will be making a big case to start. So you ask yourself, so where do you play Iwobi? Maybe just behind what's his name, Odion Igalo, you know, in attack. So you have 2 up front. Might want to change the system a little bit, but what that would mean again is that you don't have the luxury of 2 central, you know, midfielders anymore, except you want to sacrifice a player out wide, which, you know, I don't know. You've got to find a way to play Iwobi. I remember that game against Zambia away. Iwobi was absolutely, you know, brilliant. Himself and Iheanacho was linking up, you know, brilliantly. He scored the 2nd goal for Nigeria, which was an important goal because the Zambians did get a goal late on, which would have tied the game, but for the insurance of that 2nd goal. So he's got to be starting. I mean, it's a good headache that General Raw has. But Iwobi has got to be started.
I'm glad
we dropped out.
I'm glad you had to make that very clear. Let's make it tough for Bada also. The last match was Wilfred Ndidi, Ogenyo Nazi, and Mikel John.
So that's why I said you've got to sometimes look at the team and say, okay, Ndidi and Ogenyi give you that insurance defensively. They screen that defense absolutely well, and they give Mikel Obi the opportunity to go create for the team and to roam. And Mikel Obi in that position even got a goal against Cameroon here. So maybe you want to think, wait a minute, are we going to be having a lot to deal with defensively? If the answer is no, maybe Ndidi drops out and Iwobi comes in. So you play Onazi and Mikel in the central midfield area.
Tayo, I like the fact that there's depth in this team, and that's what a good squad is made up of. But in any way, Bada, does John Ogu or even Ogene Karo Tebo have a place in your team?
I mean, fantastic players to have on the bench. I personally love John Ogu because he's got boundless energy. He can go box to box. And more importantly, he's that guy who will take a crack from 25, 30 yards out. Got a fantastic left foot on him. He can hit them, you know, very hard. But because he hasn't been playing for the team up until now, you don't want to disrupt the balance of the team by thrusting him in there in a very important must-win qualifier. If something goes wrong, the fans will have the head of the manager. So, yes, you want to keep Ogu on the bench up until a time when maybe we're coasting 2-3 goals, and then you throw him on and just, you know, make sure that you can show up things in the middle of the pack, and then occasionally bump forward for you and make things happen. I mean, Austin, this is the sort of problem that we want to have at this level.
It's the same problem, I know.
When you spot for choice, and the manager has to, I mean, that's what's getting paid for. He's got to actually sit down and decide whichever strategy, which of the formation is going to use against Zambia. And the tweets are just pouring in, Austin. And yeah, I mean, we haven't asked for predictions, but that's exactly what I've been doing all morning. Some really convincing predictions are coming in favor of Nigeria, and you can understand why that's what will suffice on the day against Zambians. We'll, you know, find time to take some of those predictions later on. But I've got a text here, a tweet here saying the referee should, I mean, the player should be aware, should be wary of the falling foul of, you know, some of the rules on the pitch, that the referee might just get a bit carried away and probably scuttle Nigeria's chances. I don't think there's a chance that would happen. The referee has to be very professional, especially now that they are under the microscope. The Ghanaian referee in the South Africa versus Senegal game, when you know, won't be refereeing again, you know, at least not in the nearest future, except something spectacular happens. Because, you know, of what he did in that game, and the game has to be replayed. Officiating doesn't worry me. What worries me is, God forbid, the Nigerian team not scoring early. Against South Africa, that was what happened. We went gung-ho, and we left ourselves susceptible to the counter. And with the pace of Tukelo Ronti, again, it had happened before in the same place. We were exposed time and again, and they beat us 2-0. I hope that doesn't happen, because the Zambians have very pacey players. The left wing forward, I can't remember his name now, the guy who scored their goal in Ndola, very dangerous on the breakaway. So you don't want to, in the search of that goal,
you know, throw caution to the wind and leave yourself exposed. So we've got to be very patient. We've got to stay patient, keep probing, keep, you know, asking the right questions, keep creating chances, and at some point hoping that we take them. If we don't take them, the manager has got to instill that discipline in the guys. Keep your organization, keep your discipline. Do not, you know, with reckless abandon, chase that goal, because if you do,
you could be punished.
You can get caught, and like you said, and like Bada said, our draw won't be the worst.
No, it won't be fatal. It won't be fatal.
So if you can't win, don't lose it.
At least get a point.
Yeah, but don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Don't start having reasons to say the referee didn't do this. Look at how the four corners went to Dar es Salaam to win. Referee, do whatever you want. That's how to win, you know, particularly when you're playing at home. Just get it done. Just get it done, so that we just wrap it up, close shop, and then everybody starts smiling. I think that's it.
That's it for now. For now. For today, we surely will come back to continue the build-up to that game on Saturday.